creates here. Oh, and of course I'm starting to talk, so now I get a frog in my throat. Excuse me. How is everybody doing today? We are back for Operation Waiting for Orders Day 6. And so it goes. Mike is home sick again today. Say hello, Mike.
Hello.
Excuse his coughing. It's going to happen. He did go into work this morning, though. He got up at 5, and actually we were woken up at like 3:30 by cats carrying on. But he got up and went into work at 5 to check his email to see if there was anything from Maryland, and there was not. So he came back home, and he will take another sick day. So yes, the waiting continues, and the new starts continue. This is that Four Seasons bell pull. I actually do not have the, I made a working copy upstairs on the printer, and I forgot to bring the colored copy down with me to show you a picture. Oh, excuse me, a picture of it. He coughs, I burp. What a wonderful couple. So yeah, you've seen a picture of it over the past several days. Let me make sure. Yeah, I don't have the picture here. So yesterday, my new start was Promise of Spring by Cottage Garden Samplings, and my goal was to get the word hope done, which I did, and it is so pretty. Over 1, this is a 27 count Linda. The color is blue tile. Yeah, Victorian motto thread. This is a gray from their gray pack, and then the yellow, it's not the called for. It is a Weeks dye works. It is, oops, sending stuff flying. It's Sally Sunshine. Isn't that pretty? So, very happy with this, but it will get put away for now. I did have a question yesterday on my last Basics of Cross Stitch video that I wanted to just take some time here to answer real quick. She's a new stitcher on even weave. She's been stitching on Ada, and she had a question about how you count down from where you've been stitching, if you have to count down like 4 rows to work that same color down below. So I wanted to show that real quick. Again, this is 27 count Linda, so very, very similar to a 28 count Lugana. So I just put in 1 stitch here on the border of this to kind of give myself a start. Now, the kind of normal, I guess, way to do it, you're counting 2 linen threads equals 1 square. So you can see my needle here, right? So what I usually do is just kind of slide my needle along the fabric and count the feel of those threads. So 1, 2 is 1, 1, 2 is 2, 1, 2 is 3, 1, 2 is 4. Now you have to make sure, are you skipping 3 and doing the next one? Or are you skipping 4 and doing the next one? If you're skipping 4, we would want to go down 1 more. And I would start there because I start in the lower left corner. Now, I know with the needle underneath, it might get a little bit difficult when you're just starting. It might be, you can't really see what the needle's doing. So I totally recommend that you get another needle and count from the top. 1, 2 is 1. I'm going to take this needle out of here and just poke it up someplace so it's out of the way. Start again. So my needle's in the bottom left corner of the stitch that I've completed. So 1, 2, whoops, I'm doing this on top. See, I'm so used to doing it on the bottom. That's what I was doing. All right, so there's our bottom left corner of that stitch. 1, 1, 2 is 2, 1, 2 is 3, 1, 2 is 4. So again, skipping 4, doing the next one, 1, 2 is 5. I want to come up right there. So I'm going to leave that needle poked in there, bring my working needle over, and just put it up in there. And then I have that. Now, whenever you're skipping like that, make sure you don't pull that strand that's laying across the fabric in the back. Make sure you don't pull it too tight, because then you'll end up buckling the fabric. So you basically want to have it just kind of laying along the fabric. And then there's that stitch. Oops, if I can get it to go down in the right hole. All right, so I hope that answered your question. Let me know if it didn't, if it wasn't clear enough. If you need any other clarification, I am happy to help. But there you have hope. So that is getting put away. Now, I did finish it like I had said I was going to. I figured I would finish this before the evening was over. And I was going to go back to one of the other ones, that I had started. But I am apparently not very good at obeying my own orders. Not that anything is an order in my life, really. I guess life is just a suggestion to me, I don't know. But anyway, I couldn't resist. I started the bell pull last night. So I did get this chunk done. This is the leaf at the top. Now these stitches here are called a mosaic stitch, and I'm actually going to take the green. I'm working on another leaf. I'm going to take that and kind of just put it over here out of the way, because I did leave the gold thread attached here, because I thought I would show you what the mosaic stitch is and how you stitch it. It's kind of ends up looking like satin stitch with this one thread on 40 count, but it's not even. It's not lined up parallel rows. So, get this situated here. All right, my next one is going to come down underneath this single green stitch here. So the mosaic stitch is diagonal, whether you can see, no swearing over there.
Beep.
Diagonal, so there's a little diagonal line, there's a bigger diagonal line that's going across the whole square, and the little diagonal line that's going across the bottom half of the square. So the first stitch is the little diagonal line, and it's going up in the middle of the stitch above it. And then I come down to the bottom corner and go up to the top corner. And then I have that kind of like a half stitch to finish off the square. The stitch starts in the bottom middle square and goes down the side middle square. Now the next square down below that, I come up in the side middle, and so this kind of completes the diagonal that was started by that little stitch there. So I go down where that one came up in the previous square. The next one goes across the full square. And then you complete the square with the other little half of one. So I thought that was kind of a neat stitch. There is a line of this the whole way down the bell pull on each side, kind of framing the, you know, the whole leaves and flowers and fruit and all that. So I think that's a really interesting, instead of, I mean, you could certainly just do a regular cross stitch, but kind of gives it a different, neat look. I'm going to put that aside again though, and pursue that later. So let's see. Don't know anything. We will continue to hope that he will get something by the end of the week. Do you think you're going to work tomorrow?
Probably not.
Oh, you go in and check your email?
Okay.
While Mike was in there, so both him and his deputy have caught whatever this creepy, crimey crud is from somebody else that works in their office. The person they got it from has 5 kids, so you can imagine that. Do they homeschool?
Yes.
Oh, so they're not going to school. The kids aren't going to school, but you know, kids pick up all kinds of things and bring them home.
Well, they do a lot of like church activities.
Okay, yeah.
Social.
Yeah. So instead of staying home, the father brought and shared his creepy crud in with the people in the office. So both Mike and his deputy got it, and they're both home. Hold on, I need to count here. 1, 2, wait, 1, and then 1, 2, okay. So while Mike was in there, he sent an email to his people saying, you know, if you're sick, just stay home. And if your, military command says no, then you can just go and spend time in the administrative office. We don't want you in here. If they want you to work, go share your germs with them. So, yeah. And I did hear that in addition to this wonderful coronavirus, there is also the flu strain this year is a bad one as well. Mike and I don't typically get flu vaccines. I hate to say this because where's some wood to knock on wood. I very rarely get sick. Even when the kids were little and bringing stuff home, Mike's bringing stuff home, I still just very rarely get sick. And when Mike gets sick, I don't usually catch it from him, even though there's certainly enough contact. So hopefully that will remain true. But I've heard that there's the flu itself this year is kind of bad. And another thing we've got to do is get the shingles vaccine. We've talked about it on and off. At one point when we talked about it last year, there was a shortage of it, so we never did get it. But we've had several friends now who have gone through the shingles, and I know that we really don't want to have to go through that, although I've heard the shingles vaccine is pretty brutal too. Oh, the things you have to worry about as an older person. So much fun. So, I do not have anything prepared for tomorrow. One of you lovely people commented on maybe instead of starting something new, I should just work on this one for however much longer this is going to take. And that idea kind of appeals to me. And I know it's supposed to be, a new start every day, but I'm allowed to change my mind. It's my party. I will change it however I want. So I'm going to decide. I'm going to work on this today and see if I love working on it as much as I anticipated working on it, if that makes any sense at all. And if so, I will probably just continue with this. Now, will I do a video every day? I don't know. I think if I do continue with this, I'm probably not going to do a video tomorrow, but I will come back Friday and do one, just to kind of catch you up, just in case there's any news. And just, you know, since I usually do a Stitch With Me on Friday, I can catch you up on Friday with where I am and what things look like. So yeah, I know. I'm changing my mind. And you know, now that I've done several, and actually part of this is Carolyn Zook's fault. Carolyn, I blame you for everything, don't I? So Carolyn has a Facebook group. It's called See Zook Stitch. If you're interested in joining in on the fun there, she is very, very good about asking. Every Tuesday, she calls it Tell Me Tuesday. She does a great job of asking questions, different prompts, kind of to get conversations started. And her question yesterday was, how many whips do you have? And I at first said, I'm not going to count. That's too much of a hassle. But I do have a lot of my whips, of course, in the app, in the journal, and in the X-Stitch app. So, all right, I went and counted those, and then kind of counted in my head, like my own designs that I'm working on, and then some odds and ends that haven't gotten it, like these new starts I haven't put in the journal yet. And the number that came up was kind of sobering, shall we say. So part of it is like, you know, Jan, maybe you should just stop here and just concentrate on something. So that's kind of what brought this up as well. So we shall see. Again, this is 40 count Tyco linen from Picture This Plus, 1 thread of floss. This is all DMC over 2 strands, 2 threads of the linen. So if you see me tomorrow, you know that by the time I did some of this, I was like, meh. I'm ready to switch. If you don't see me tomorrow, you know that I'm still going full steam on this. And you will see me Friday, barring anything really strange happening. And if something really strange happens, I'll probably let you know on social media some other way. So, I think that is all for now. My plan with this, of course, there is a lot of backstitch in this. And so my plan, you know, to define all the leaves. So my plan is, as I get each season done, I'm going to go ahead and do all the back stitching. Not only so that I can see it coming alive, but so that I don't save all the back stitching till the end. Does that sound like a good plan? All right, guys. That is all for today. Going to get off here and get some stuff done, like a shower. There's definitely a nap in our future after being woken up so early by certain cats. But other than that, I will see you tomorrow, or I will see you Friday. I hope you guys have a lovely day, and I will talk to you soon. Bye-bye.